Guys, welcome back to Idiocracy, episode number... I don't want to say it. I don't know what episode it is, but we're back yet again. The boys are back. The gang is back. This time, there's all three of us. I don't know if I uploaded the other one, but there's all three of us. Say hi.
Hello. This may be episode 3 or 4, depending if Daniel uploads the other one. This is Shiro's. Greetings to all our listeners.
Yo.
Okay. I still haven't edited the other one, so I don't know why I'm recording this, but it's good to be organized, right? So it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. Ruining my sleep for this. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, ruining your sleep at 8:45 p.m. shows. What's that about?
Shows that you're a child.
The melanin in your skin doesn't allow you to do that. You do realize that?
What do you mean melanin?
Basically, the mitosis in the atmosphere
Okay, yeah.
condenses down, and it causes global warming, which is why the Titanic happened, and that's why Leonardo DiCaprio is very aware about greenhouse gases and that.
True.
By the way, I did not mean melatonin, which is the one for sleep. I did mean melanin, which is the one for skin color. But anyway, the question of this podcast is, when we all fall asleep, where do we go? How, boys?
Zimbabwe.
What's the answer to that?
Zimbabwe.
We go nowhere physically.
Zimbabwe.
Our brains move wild. They can take you anywhere. Do you know what's interesting? I do actually have a friend. I've talked. You guys know him. You know when he came to Manchester.
Friend.
He was saying he can fully lucid dream. So he's like, Nifa, he's kind of like you, where he can realize he's dreaming.
Yo, hold up! I can't lucid dream. I'm different.
You
you
want to give out a shout out to your friend?
Nima, I don't know if you would want that, but
shout
no,
out to
you know,
Nima. Yeah.
You said you can realize when you're dreaming. I personally can't. He said he can realize when he's dreaming, and then he can change that, so he can change his dreams and do whatever he wants. I think that's so cool. That's like a.
But hold up,
a
lucid dreams are not just realizing you're dreaming. It's actually physically feeling the dream. Do you get me?
Yeah. He's he's dreaming, and he knows he's dreaming, and then he starts doing stuff he starts flying or whatever.
Oh, nah. With me, it depends. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I know I am dreaming. I know I am living a dream, but I can't, change it. But I know, let's say the dream was, a bad dream. I know that it's a dream. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Is that,
I can't change it.
Is that done with any substance, it shows? Is that all natural? Like, your friend?
Alright, did you ask me? Oh, is Nima? No, he just says he does it naturally. He says,
Allegedly.
Allegedly. He says he knows certain times when he has a bad dream, nightmare. He knows it's a dream, he knows, certain signs.
Mm-hmm.
He can tell it's a dream. I kind of forgot with that. I think writing was one, you can't read anything, clocks don't move, some other stuff, which I forgot.
Yeah,
I think one about running, something about that, but yeah.
Imagine dreaming. I don't even dream. I dream, every so often.
One of the instances that I have, I'm very bad at, I barely remember any dreams, but when I do, it's usually right after something happened, right after I wake up for the first 20 minutes, and then I'm oh my god, that dream happened right there. It was so vivid and everything, but then as the day progresses, I just slowly forget. Yeah, you should probably write it down, whatever. But why is that not the same thing for actual memories? Because if you think about it, some memories happen time back 20 years ago plus whatever, and you have a vivid attachment to that memory. While a dream probably happened less than 2 hours ago, yet when you wake up, that dream just disappears like that. I think that's kind of it's a fascinating thought that the dream is there.
Isn't that... Hold up, Daniel.
No,
isn't that something to do with
The dream exists, as far as I know. That memory is still there, but it's not accessible from our brain.
Yeah, but Danny, isn't that probably something to do with neuroscience, where when you live life, or when you memorize stuff, something about links being created in your brain, but I'm guessing that doesn't happen with dreams, or it happens in very subtly, so you don't really remember it. As in when you're when you sit down in class, for example, you don't remember every single thing.
Yeah. No, but in fact, there is some stuff that in real life that trigger those dreams. Let's say you had a dream about like a bottle of shampoo or something, and then you see that bottle of shampoo or something, and be like, oh shit, I had a dream about that or something like.
Oh
I know,
yeah, that's
stupid
so
example.
true. No, that is
You know,
very true, 'cause
hold
I
up.
have
There's
dreams
a
like
thing
that.
about that where like, I don't know what it is. It's very general, but I know like, for example, I think like I was reading a book and apparently like, your subconscious sometimes works in a way where, like, let's say you're trying to solve this mathematical equation and you can't, and you've been working on it for days. Sometimes you just might wake up one day and like you might remember something, whether you dreamt of it or like it just popped it into your head, and like you said, Daniel, you probably forget it, but like what I read in this book is this guy, like, he'd wake up and he wrote it down straight away, and then he went back to sleep, and when he woke up, like, he had the answer to what he was looking for, and he's
That's
been
very
working
cool,
on this for like
actually.
years or something.
Not Einstein. Edison used to do that. He was Tesla. Obviously, Tesla over Edison all day for like discoveries and whatever. But Edison used to work himself proper hard. I'm sorry, he didn't have any ideas when he was awake, so he just waited for him to fall asleep. He fell asleep for like he used to hold like a metal ball or something like on his hand, and like he had like a plate at the bottom of his chair or something, and then he held that ball, and then he waited to fall asleep, and as soon as he went to deep sleep, he dropped that ball, and then he just came up with the idea and just kept on going with his theory and stuff like that. That's imagine that you see someone that's there on the chair falling asleep, dropping the ball, and then boom, they've got the answer to the solution. That's kind of mad.
Should have tried that in my maths exams.
Honestly, the exams were putting me to sleep.
I wouldn't let you hold any kind of metal objects, especially spherical.
Good one, Danny. You've rinsed the joke probably 2 podcasts in a row now.
No, I'm just saying it's a dangerous thing for anyone. What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
You've rinsed the joke, bro. Move on.
No, but yeah, it's fascinating to think that people could come up with solutions and ideas by falling asleep. Why do you think people go and say sleep on it?
Well, that's the thing. A lot of, like, we used to think sleep is just like rest time, but no, your brain is actually very active when you sleep.
Big brain.
Sometimes as active as when you're awake. It depends on what stage of sleep you are in, though.
Anyone knows the stages of sleep?
Yeah, there's REM and non-REM sleep, and then I believe non-REM sleep is broken down into 3 further types.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, but listen to this. This is off topic.
Yeah.
Wait, do you actually? I don't. Explain it to the viewers, to the 2 viewers.
As far as I know, they're actually named. They go 1 to 4, like they're named 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's nothing. I mean, they're not original when it comes to naming, but I don't know exactly what happens in each stage. I just know the difference between REM and non-REM. I believe REM is when you actually dream, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's the rapid eye movement. So for all our viewers watching, that's what that means.
It's when you go into deep. Is that deep sleep? Is that REM?
I'm not sure. I know, like, with 1, 2, 3. So non-REM has 3 types. So it's first, which is when you're going between wakefulness and sleep. Second is light sleep, and you spend, I think, the majority of the time in light sleep. And then the third is deep sleep. And then you have REM. Also, REM is usually 90 minutes after you first sleep, and then it cycles back. So you have 1 to 3, then 4 being REM, and then it goes back to 1 to 4 again, and that keeps on happening while you sleep.
Wait, on that point, in A-level, I used to do this thing where, like, it's called like a power nap, where you drink coffee, and then you nap for like 20 minutes, and that's like when the cycle. That's when you like. I think that's like the first stage of a cycle, like 20 minutes. I think.
Yeah,
you set an alarm for 20 minutes.
15 to 20 minutes. Something like that, yeah.
And you'd have coffee anyway, so like you sleep for 20 minutes and nap, and I'd feel like such an energy boost. Yeah, then I'd revise.
You know, when I nap, I've never got napping for like 15, 20 minutes. If I go for a nap, I have to sleep 2-3 hours. It's not even a nap anymore, it's just a mini sleep, but yeah, that's why I can only do that.
Do you guys think napping is good? Well, you can.
Well, I love it. I was about to nap.
You can give your personal judgment, but you can also give like a more objective,
Um,
scientific, or like is it good when it comes to health? Would you say?
Who wants to go first, me or Charles?
No, Nifal, go first, please.
I think that I swear people say you're not meant to sleep like 9 hours continuously, like you're meant to split it up.
Okay, so I've watched this this neuroscientist talking about sleep for like 2 hours. His name is Matthew Walker. So any information you get from me is based on like what he said. So yeah, quote me based on what he said. Anyway, he said that well, most people should have to have a good sleep. It should be between 7 to 9 hours. So yeah.
Sleep.
But it's not meant to be continuous though, no?
It is. I'm assuming.
Okay, I don't know. What I knew is like it's not meant to be continuous, and it's only nowadays, as in recent human history, that humans sleep like this.
Oh, I've
But,
heard
like,
of that. Actually, I have heard of that before.
Yeah, it's only like in recent history do like humans sleep like this. I can
Because
approach it
we're,
from a
like,
religious
safe
point of
most
view,
of
but let me
the
do it
time.
personally, then let me do it religiously. I don't know the scientific part from it. Like the only science I know is apparently like only in recent human history do we sleep continuously. Personally, I like to nap because I don't know. Like sometimes, like it's number one, it kills time, especially like as a student and stuff. Number two, you actually feel energetic after. So like, let's say you need to do something and you're just being unproductive and you're procrastinating. I think it's more efficient for you to go and nap, and it will help like make you more productive. It makes me personally feel better. I just like it. I like to nap. Religiously speaking, I mean, like I think there's a whole like sleeping pattern you can even adopt like from a religious perspective, where I think like you go to sleep at like Isha, and then like you wake up a couple of hours before Fajr. You stay up for Fajr, you pray, you read Quran, then you stay up, and then you stay awake until Dhuhr, and then you nap from Dhuhr till Asr. I know the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to nap from Dhuhr till Asr.
If it
And then you
wasn't
wake
clear,
up.
Islamically, when we say religiously, just want to
Okay, yes, we
Okay,
are
sorry,
Muslims.
keep going.
And then he used to nap from like Dhuhr till Asr, and then obviously stay awake from Asr till Isha again. So just for like for like a time context, I want to say like you go to sleep at around 11, you wake up. It obviously Fajr changes, but just like right now, let's give context right now, like September time in the UK, like you'd go to sleep around 11, you'd wake up around like 3:34ish, and then you stay awake all the way until like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you go to sleep from like 1 o'clock until I want to say like 6ish, and then you stay awake from 6 till 11.
I thought it's quite okay, but I feel like it's just not practical in the current world that we live in. But it does sound quite nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, it depends.
they used to
I
do
wanna say-
this, as far as I know, in the Victorian age a lot. They used to sleep twice. They used to wake up like in the middle. It didn't used to be exactly like this, following this pattern. They used to sleep early, like, I don't know, 6, or probably like 7, and then wake up at like 1, and then they stayed up for like 4 or 5 hours. They had the time up, and then they went back to sleep and woke up at the normal time. But yeah, it was a common common thing to happen back in the days.
So as I was saying before, I've heard of like before from somewhere like sleep used to be more broken up. Like you slept, like Nufal said, like multiple times throughout the day in short periods. But interestingly enough, do you know that whole cycle I was telling you about from non-REM into REM? Also, interestingly enough, there's differences between non-REM and REM. So non-REM is usually your like heart rate goes lower, metabolism goes lower, and even your body temperature goes lower. In REM, you start getting more brain activity and stuff like that, and that's where most of your dreams happen. And the longer you sleep, like I said, these cycles like repeat, but the proportion of your REM sleep, I believe, keeps getting longer and longer before you wake up. So, like, perhaps before you're waking up, your REM is lasting 1 hour, whereas maybe in the first cycle it's lasting 10 minutes. So, perhaps that could play effect if you're not having that cyclical motion, but rather you're breaking it up. Maybe that would affect it somehow, but I'm really not too sure on that.
Oh, so the cycle progressively gets longer every time it repeats itself. Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
yeah. The
Okay,
REM
so like
progression gets
when you
longer.
break up your sleep, you don't get to experience the longer REM, basically.
Perhaps. I'm not fully sure. That's
Okay,
what
yeah,
I'm
based on what you're
postulating.
saying, based on what you're
Uh,
saying, allegedly.
allegedly, yeah, allegedly.
I mean, the main reason why I chose, well, I had to choose this topic for this podcast was that our friend Charles, his
Mm.
sleeping pattern is a bit weird nowadays. And by the way, I don't mean weird. Like,
You can't
what?
say it's
Let me
weird
say
now.
it.
It's
Let me
weirder
say it. Let me say
before.
it. Yeah, let me say it. It's weird for some people, but it might be like completely normal for other people. I say weird because he's a 20-year-old lad, healthy. You could say healthy guy, not too bad. And anyone at this age doesn't sleep this early, all right, and doesn't wake up this early. Shiro sleeps from, let's say, around 8, between 8 9 p.m. till 4 5 a.m., which is good. Don't get me wrong, it's a good amount of sleep, good times, but not for a 20-year-old, all right. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear none of that. Oh my god, I'm motivated. I get so much done in the morning. You can't even believe it, Daniel. I wake up, I go for 5 runs, come back, and I go for 2 gym sessions, and then
I
Rubbish.
go to for 5 runs. I open 6 companies.
yeah.
I invest in 3 million stocks.
More like I wake up, I binge watch some Netflix, go have breakfast. That's it.
So yeah, why do you do that? Why do you wake up at this weird time?
Here's the thing. So you guys know I've always had a certain amount of problems sleeping. So usually I sleep like 6 hours. I have done for a long amount of time. And just a while ago, like not too long ago, you guys know I was sleeping at 6 a.m., perhaps even a bit later, and then at
That's
one
what I
point,
do now, bro.
yeah, and at one point I was sleeping at 2 p.m. So I personally just didn't want to be sleeping that late for when uni starts. So I decided to stay awake for a full day. So I stayed awake. I barely made it to like 8 p.m. and I conked out. I just went to sleep. And then this is just where it's happened. It's not due to any choice. It's just by chance. I'm sure I'll mess it up in a bit. Like give me 2 3 weeks. I might
It's
be
9
sleeping
p.m.
later
now though.
again.
Like you can legit wait 2 hours and go to sleep like normal.
Yeah, yeah, I could.
Okay, from the podcast that I listen to, I'll give you 2 facts. One that goes in your favor, one that goes against you. The one that goes against you is that us youngsters, let's say, our sleeping time shouldn't be this early. Like, it might start like when we're younger. It might start early, like around, I don't know, 9 p.m. Alright, that's relatively early, or 8:30, and then as we get older, it slowly becomes later and later. Like ideally, you shouldn't sleep anything later than 11:30 or midnight. Okay, so that's what goes. It's not That's a normal thing. That's a normal cycle to have for like us at this on time. However, as you said, you adopted this sleeping time because of how it used to be before, where you stayed up all night and then you went to sleep at a very weird time, which is good because in America, night shift workers are actually given the cause, not well, the excused if they ever happen to get cancer, that's one of the possible reasons. It shows
What they
from
sleep late.
different studies. It shows that working at night does lead to, cancer or anything like that. So
Daniel, does that mean we're gonna lose you?
yeah, the thing is, I'm working night shifts right now, and when I heard this, I was like, damn, maybe I should just go home and sleep
Yeah.
like straight away. But yeah, it leads to like a lot of like based on their researches and their studies, it shows that it had led to a lot of cancer cases, and that's concerning. That's really concerning. You should not be staying up. I mean, it doesn't necessarily give you 100% probability, but it affects it somehow. So yes, I do appreciate that you go to sleep early. Well, that's just too early. That's my point.
Yeah, I'll try. Just on the nature of these statues, I think like even though there are studies done, you should always take it with a healthy amount of skepticism. Like I would personally want to read those studies, see if there's any outliers or any errors in the methodology, because just off the top of my head, I can think of a lot of different factors, cofactors, which might influence the results, such as if you're working night shifts, does the nature of the jobs then also affect perhaps the working materials you're working with, which would cause increased risk of cancer, or so on and so on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's obviously it's not just solely based on that. When you
Yeah.
start working night shifts, you're gonna have other stuff like you don't eat properly. You
Yeah.
probably don't interact with people. You don't get enough like sunlight, not enough vitamin D and stuff like that. There's various stuff like that probably. But yeah, it's the fact that you're staying up all night and sleeping, staying inside all day. That's pretty much what might affect that. But as you said studies might be in favor of certain. Like they could be industrialized. They could have something in favor or whatever. So the guy that talked about this is called Matthew Walker. So if you want to know more about this, just Google him or whatever. See what he works on. But
this podcast is sponsored by Matthew Walker.
No, that's not. But we do have a sponsor. We had a sponsor. We had a sponsor in the last podcast. And by the way, I sounded so dead because I saw the I saw the notification saying, "Oh, now you can add a sponsor to your podcast." I was like, "Okay, say no more." So I just woke up and I started recording it. I was like, "Oh shit, my voice sounds kind of deep."
It sounded okay, to be fair.
It sounded kind of deep, but like my motivation in it was so. I sounded like I wanted to die or something. So I don't know. Might have to record another one.
Maybe add it to this podcast.
Ask me what I'm doing right now.
So Nifa, how was your sleep?
I'm sleeping right now.
I'm talking. That's
this podcast. So
basically, my eyes are closed. My eyes are closed
half
because I'm feeling sleepy. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
How is my sleep?
Yeah.
I sleep at like 6 a.m. I wake up at around 2.
Why are you feeling
PM.
sleepy now then?
I usually nap. That's probably why I didn't nap today. Like I usually nap between like 6 and 8 p.m.
Also, to do the sleeping, at one point I did sleep at like this or even a bit earlier than this and wake up at 4 a.m. No, I think I still slept at 8, but I woke up at like 4 a.m, 3 a.m because I couldn't sleep that long then. And I just wake up and then I do all my lectures for that day. Like look over all of them, learn the content, and then go uni like that. And that was quite helpful. So I guess, like sleep, you should really just adapt to what's the best for your lifestyle, and it's more individual based. And I know you mentioned that guy said you should, like everyone should get a certain amount of sleep, but like it really depends on like how old you are and like a lot of other factors of how much you sleep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're saying about the average population.
Because when you get older, you sleep less. Young adults like us, we should be sleeping around. Not young adults, sorry, teenagers should be sleeping around like 9.5 hours, us like 8-ish, a bit more than that. So
yeah, but he also said this fact just blew my mind kind of. He said that if you think about there is few people that can survive on like 5 hours sleep, okay, and when you go to someone and be like, they go, you might have that gene. It's like a gene or something. I don't know. They don't know that yet, but some people can survive on 5 hours sleep. And when you go to anyone, they be like, yeah, I've got that gene. I have that advantage. But if you go and round up that percentage, the amount of people that have that gene, the percentage goes to 0%. If you round it up.
Really?
That's how many few people have that gene. And it's very like apparently the chances of you getting hit by a lightning bolt are higher than that.
I think it's like just to do with the nature of the world we live in. A lot of people aren't afforded sleep due to like, let's say, jobs or school or what have you. You have to wake up early. You have to travel here and there. So a lot of people just have to run on 5 hours of sleep, and they never see the beauty of longer sleep. And then they have to, of course, catch up on the weekends, like laying in to like 12 or longer. But yeah, if you like don't sleep enough, it definitely affects your like performance to understand and retain information. So
that's me right now.
You watched that video I sent you, right, about sleep?
The Resident one. I watched the medicine one. The Resident one was
Yeah, the
that fact was mad. He goes, okay, for context. So this guy was speaking about like doctors in the US. I don't know so much in the UK, but in the US, he goes the resident program, which is basically like the first and second years of like practice, right, in the UK. It's basically practice after you finish your degree, I think, or medicine course, or med school. He goes, that program spawned as a result of a guy who could stay awake for like long periods of time, and as a result, he created a program for his schedule, and he made people follow it. And it turns out he was a cocaine addict, and that's why he could stay awake for those periods of time.
Wow, that's crazy.
So apparently and then people started copying his residency program. So apparently the whole like residency program in the US is as a result of a cocaine addict.
Wow. Do you know there's not to like derail the conversation of sleep, but there's like a phenomenon of people who microdose Adderall, cocaine, things like this, simply as a performance enhancer. So they're not addicted or anything, but they just take small doses to like improve like memory or like be more awake, alert, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. If I wasn't Muslim, I'd probably do it. It sounds like something I'd do.
A lot of teenagers do that, or like near our age, because Adderall, I think, is one of the most common. It's one of the most common drugs between colleges or universities. So yeah.
Well, no way, it's more like popular than weed. No way, though. Actually.
But weed, yes, is a drug, but people consider it more like nowadays. They consider it like a plant.
No, Daniel, weed is a herb, man.
Recreation. Oh, a herb, yes. No, but
it's
that's
just a
true.
spice, bro.
Weed is an herb.
People do consider it as a plant, or like it's not.
Okay.
They don't consider it as a drug. But
fair enough.
I think sleep, like we associate the good, healthy lifestyle to like, usually to like eating good or exercising, right? But I feel like sleep, it's not even the third pillar. It should be like the foundation to all of that.
True, probably. I think it is extremely important.
Yeah, it's
like,
weird to say. It's weird to say, but sleep is slept on, which is mad.
True. So here's interesting. So to further argue for your case, so for hunger, let's say, do you know how you can fight off hunger? Like your body can never force you to eat. Like it can cause cravings, but you can always overpower that with your mentality. Like there's recently a case of that Iranian news reporter rather who died on hunger strike. So like people can starve themselves to death on sleep.
Not you though, right?
Not me, obviously. But sleep, like your body will shut you down. Like it's like a forced lock. You can only stay awake so long till your body's like no more, and then it forces you to sleep. So I think it is probably the most pivotal pillar.
It's a third of your life. 8 hours, if you think 8 hours a day.
Yeah, it is a lot.
It's a third of your life.
Also, I heard that was one of the arguments for breaking up your sleep. If you like sleep in like 2 hour shifts, you can like sleep less essentially. So just improve your lifespan.
I find sleep like kind of a waste of time. Like your third of your life is sleep. That's mad.
Bro, that is kind of, it is L, but you have to think of it. Imagine if you didn't like sleep, you just have a much more worse quality of life, or you had lower sleep. So it's really a trade-off for quality over quantity, rather.
For that mentality, that comment that you just made, that was my mentality as well before watching that podcast. But that guy literally, he made sleep make sense. Obviously, he's an advocate.
So Daniel, you're an easy influential person.
No, like he made sense with this. He made sense with his argument by saying
Daniel is a sheep. He gets influenced by the masses.
Maybe. But I feel like your mentality is more common than mine. The one, sleep is for the weak.
That is true. Wait, here's the thing though. Would it not be so cool if we just didn't have to sleep as people? Like you could just stay awake all the time.
What? Maybe, but I feel like
yeah.
In Jannah, inshallah.
No, I feel like sleep would be cooler if it was like food, or like how food has like a calorie system. If you get this amount of calories and stuff like that, so you can stack up this many calories or whatever in fat.
You could sleep for like a few months. And then, I feel like we talked about that.
That would be cool if you could like stack up hours of sleep, and then you can stay up for longer.
That would be so sick, actually.
No, but back to my original point. He said that the quality of your sleep and like the amount of sleep that you have will make you work better when you're awake. If you sleep for too little, let's say you're you're the boss of a big company, and you sleep 6 hours or 5 hours a night.
Yeah.
And then you go into your company and someone gives you like hands over something to you and be like, oh fuck, this is wrong. Give me another one. Or like you're always grumpy. You're like you're not really in a good mood.
Yeah.
So yes, you can help yourself with caffeine and whatever, other stuff. But how long can that actually last? So instead, if you have a good sleep, you come into work, you go to sleep early or you come into work an hour later, your mood will be different. You work more efficiently, I'll say. So I think sleep in that way.
It's obvious, yeah.
Yeah, sleep is actually a good thing to have compared to.
Sleep is extremely necessary. Like I said, it affects how you retain your. It affects brain like plasticity. Like it's extremely important. Like if there's one thing, and any of our listeners want to change in their lives, I'd recommend fixing your sleeping pattern first, sleeping for longer. And then changing everything in your life after that, because it'll make it so much easier.
I'd recommend contact me later for information.
Wait, what was that? Was that the pyramid scheme you guys were?
No, maybe you should play.
If you want a life-changing experience, it's not a pyramid scheme, okay?
Wait, did you guys in the end actually join that or no?
No. We have no association with that.
We have no association to such a group except a YouTube video on someone's YouTube channel.
Wait, did you guys ever rein me into that or no? Did I give you money for that or no? Hopefully not.
Can we just divert into a different direction, please, from that?
Okay. While talking about sleep, obviously we can't ignore dreams. So do we want to talk about the nature of dreams? Because I'm pretty sure we all have like vastly different perspectives on what a dream is and what it signifies.
Like Martin Luther King type of dreams.
Sorry, what?
No.
No, not that kind of. Obviously, I mean like actual dreams.
I know what you meant. It was a good joke. I'm sure the viewers are laughing.
Sure.
I appreciate it, but I don't think I should have laughed at that, so I did not laugh.
Oh, cancel culture.
Yeah. No, not really. Let's be honest, not really. But yeah, you know.
You can't be
What do you mean, Charles? Like, what do you mean perspective and dreams and stuff?
Like, what do you think a dream is? Like, I feel like your probably will be religious perspective on, because dream, isn't it wild? Like, we just go to sleep, like we turn like our eyes off, and then like we live like basically another life, which when we wake up we like forget. Isn't that interesting? What
basically my life is a filler episode until I graduate uni. So
yeah, what if when you sleep, you're actually waking up in another world?
Whoa, mind blown.
What if
How's that for perspective?
What if this is your dream right now, Shiroz? Wow.
Yeah, true.
What about if we live in a simulation?
What if this is a fever dream? I can't.
I do have that question, but I feel like we should have that in another podcast. Like Islamically, living in a simulation is not wrong.
What if
it's God's simulation? Is that wrong? I don't
know.
know.
Can we not go on simulations? I feel like we've talked about simulations so much.
No, we will talk about simulation, but not in this podcast, cause.
And I keep telling you, simulations, no, false, wrong.
Why?
We are sim characters. Do you know how sometimes you walk into a room and you forget why you walked into a room, so you walked out?
That's just you.
It's like somebody missed.
Shit! It's almost time to restart, bro. I don't want no update right now.
What?
Not now. It's trying to update my laptop. Sorry.
I thought I meant like your simulation.
No. Yeah. Let me reset. Let me just hop off a bridge real quick. But no. Here's the interesting thing. I know one theory on dreams. I don't really know any others, and I think it makes quite a bit of sense. So, do you guys know who Sigmund Freud is?
Yeah.
He's just like psychoanalyst. Anyway, one of his theories was he has like a whole book on dreams. I forgot what it's called. It's like Thoughts on Dreams. Blah, blah, blah. Like it's a long ass book. Essentially, he states dreams are like your repressed subconscious manifesting its desires. So, this is gonna get long, but he essentially believes we are split into like three different things: the id, ego, super ego. Id being like your instinctual, subconscious desires. Your super ego being the mediator, and your ego being your morality. And I think super ego is conscious level.
You say id or ID? What was it?
Id.
Id. Okay.
They spell ID, yeah, I think.
Okay.
And then your id is the one that is less, I think, inhibited when you dream. So it like tells you what you want. So let's say you have a dream about like flying. I don't know. Maybe that's your id trying to tell you, oh, you should. I want to be successful. I want to do this, that, other. I don't know. A lot of it's sexual, which I don't really want to go into, but yeah, like that kind of stuff.
What about like, I get cheated on in my dream? Does that mean I want to get cheated on?
It's probably, I don't know, it'll probably be something like, oh, you're insecure. Which is kind of true. Am I wrong, Daniel? No, I'm not.
Real life reflections in your dreams. That's
True.
fun. That's mad.
What about if I want to beat the fuck out of you in my dream?
Damn, that's great, because I speak the truth. Damn, that's crazy, cuz. Anyway,
that's funny.
Maybe lose my track.
I don't know if Yufa is gonna get into this, but there's a not similar, but there's a structure like that in Islam, I would say. Well, like
there is like if you dream of this, it means
when it
this.
comes to dream, but we'll get into that. Sorry.
Wait, I was gonna say, and then the dream component is affected by three different factors. So what you dream of is affected by three things. So what you're dreaming of is when you're sleeping, what's happening around you. So let's say I'm like around you, I'm making like weird ghost noises. It might influence you to have like dreams of ghosts. I don't know. The residue from the previous day. So what happened yesterday? Let's say you had a really rough day, and something to do with like your car crash. You might have a dream about your car crashing, not crashing, sorry, stalling. I don't really want to even put the thought of car crashing out there. Give you the evil eye. And lastly, I think it's stuff to do with like your morality or something. So like your beliefs. So that's one idea of what dreams might be.
Yeah, I've read that. I've read about that before. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I don't know if it makes sense, but
it's an interesting thought process. Like we couldn't like verify any of this right now at least.
What about Islamically? I know there's 3 types of dreams, right?
I actually do not know. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What do you mean, bro? There's one that the devil. I don't know. There's one that the devil or the shaitani dreams that he makes you see stuff like that. I know there's one where God makes you see stuff like that, and I can't remember the third type.
I've never heard that. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I know there's like is it a ru'ya? I don't know what it's called. I think those are the ones like where like God makes you see something like. I
just want to say to
which
the
prophet was it? Which prophet was it? Yusuf, like Prophet Yusuf, like when he was in prison.
Well, like Revelations or something like that.
No, like not really Revelations. No, like basically he was in prison and people would like come up to him. It's in the Quran. People would come up to him and be like, "I dreamt of this and this and this. What does this mean?" And he'd like give them an explanation. Was it Yusuf? I don't know.
I just want to say that we all had like different research jobs, and Newfels was the Islamic side. And like, okay, I didn't give him too much of a heads up on that and like how much time he was gonna have. But I'm just saying, Newfel. I'm just saying, could have had better preparation. Just saying, but it's fine.
Better what?
Preparation.
What do you mean research? You think I'm gonna research with this?
Yes, Newfel, we're a professional podcast, a reliable podcast.
Professional.
Not really, but
bro, you got to Google, man. Go write it's dreams in Islam or something, man.
Yeah.
That's
that was
actually, let's talk about this. Danny, you know, Curious Cat, about like
this guy.
do you get like podcast? Do you get podcast like recommendation for topics and stuff?
I don't.
Oh, true, guys. Spam Daniel's Curious Cat.
I know. Don't spam my email. Spam the email in the description.
The only reason, hold up. The only reason I mentioned this was like someone's told me like, oh, talk about Islam, which is so general.
Talk about Islam.
I replied.
About Islam.
I replied. If we ever do bring it up, it'll probably be like from a philosophical angle. Like
Nah,
earlier
we're
on,
not-
we were speaking about
what do you mean?
simulations and stuff.
Talk about Islam. That's like, it's like saying, is the sky? No,
That's
I
what
don't
I
know.
said, man. It's so general, man.
Does that describe the sky? What does that mean, bro? Or describe space?
If I want to say something about Islam, I'd just say, I feel like a lot of Muslims, I might be going corner, like they pick and choose on what they want to judge though. It's like, personally, I don't think you should really be judging other people. But like, let's say some Muslims, they'll do certain haram things, and they won't really care if they see other Muslims do it. But then there's certain haram things where they will rarely judge someone doing it and condemn them, and I don't see the parity in that. And we've had this discussion before. I don't know if you want to have it now again.
No, we don't.
It's very like out the blue.
We don't.
Oh no, I was just saying on the type of like, say something about Islam. That's my only thing, and I think that's just like good life advice. Just like allow people, let them do what they want.
Not
Don't
really.
judge
I
them.
think that's very bad life advice.
Really? Because here's the thing:
Yeah.
you can the difference between condemning someone and giving them advice. So I'd very much appreciate if you could give me your Islamic advice.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Like,
I agree with
yeah.
that.
If I'm like your friend, if you give me advice, thank you. But like, if you're like
Okay.
a random giving me like, or like attacking me for something, I'll just say it's not gonna help anyone.
Yeah, not attack, like advice.
Yeah, it doesn't. Like, it can be a random. Why not? As long as like the way.
Yeah, it can be random, but like advice, don't.
As long as the way you advise someone, it's like the right way
Yeah.
of doing it. That's fine. Yeah, the first time you said it, I mean, I kind of understood your intent, but like, I don't know, you made it sound like, oh no, don't talk to me, don't look at me, like that kind of behavior or attitude, and that's like too.
Oh, no, I'm not
defensive.
saying for me personally. No, not for
No,
me.
not
I
for you,
think-
not for you. I'm just saying in general, like, for anyone who gets, those kind of comments, they shouldn't take it with a
Yeah.
bad heart or whatever.
That's true.
But now we're talking about dreams. I don't know how we got here, but
It's just
Oh, we're
because
just
before
speaking about
mentioned.
podcast recommendation.
Yeah, the recommendation thing.
we still have our conspiracy theory podcast episode to record. I don't know when we're gonna do that, but you guys.
That's
Oh,
gonna be a very good.
I remember few episodes ago, Shows goes, "Oh, I'm gonna single-handedly 1v9 though the podcast." He didn't show up in the previous podcast. Okay.
Which podcast?
In the time one, which I don't know if I'm gonna upload, but if I have uploaded, Shows wasn't there.
It was very simple. I told you what time I sleep. I said before I sleep, I'm free. I told you, and then it came at 8 o'clock. I told you, bro, I'm going to sleep. I told you I'm gonna sleep at this time. I will be available for the podcast. And I went simple as.
By the way, guys, if the podcast wasn't uploaded, if you invested $1,000 in 2009 Bitcoin, you would have made $3 billion.
Okay,
Nah,
we're not getting to this. We're not getting to this. Okay.
Oh, that's my.
Sure,
it's
basically
Bitcoin.
he asked me.
No.
We won't get into it, but he asked me like if the viewer if like he uploads this repeated content.
Or
But
Shiroz can just listen to the previous podcast. You don't have to explain.
no, just I'll sum it up. It's like
No,
in one
you don't
sentence.
have
He
to.
asked me what I would do. Just let me finish it. He goes to me like, what would you do if you could go back in time? I was like, I'd go to 2009 and invest in Bitcoin. $1,000 would make me $3 billion now. $3 billion.
That's mad. Do you know what's
And then
mad?
basically, we spent 20 minutes trying to do the math to make sure I
No,
figured it out.
you spent 20 minutes. I just
No, but he
realized.
kept doubting me. He kept doubting me, sure.
Surely
Like, no,
that's
it's
not that hard to work out. It's very simple maths.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but he kept doubting me.
But here's the thing. Do you know what I want to say is like, have you heard of those stories when the guy spent like $15 to buy pizza with Bitcoin in like 2005, 2006? I said that would be millions right now. I swear. And that, like, I'm sure you probably talk about that, like one computer which supposedly has a lot of Bitcoin on it, like that hard drive.
No, we didn't talk about that.
Okay,
But then, no, I don't like, that's flawed logic, because at the time, you couldn't do a single thing with Bitcoin, do you get me?
That's true, but it's just the thought, like,
Like,
imagine,
that's why it's an investment.
that's an investment, but imagine you spend it, you still feel like shit now. Even if it's like, oh, sure, you never could have known, but, you know.
No, that probably exists. There's probably at least one random account with like God knows how many Bitcoins in it. That
Yeah.
guy bought it 20 years ago or 10 years ago, whenever Bitcoin was about, for like 1p. He bought God knows how
You
many
know what's
Bitcoins
crazy?
and just
Bitcoin
forgot about it.
Crashed recently, like it went down to 3K. None of us bought Bitcoin. That's mad. None of us believed. It went back up to like 20k. I don't know what's in that right now.
Basically, buy Dogecoin or Dogecoin.
Oh, the meme one. Yeah.
Yeah, the meme one.
Yeah. But yeah, back onto the subject of dreams. We've changed real slightly. Is there
A man
anything
can
else?
dream $3 billion soon, man.
So, Nico, you know, just invest in random things now. Who knows? You can make $3 billion in like 10, 20 years.
I'm better off gambling, mate.
Right. Wait, does investment count as gambling or not?
No.
No, okay, fair.
It depends. It could be gambling. Depends how you invest, right?
It could be, depends on which individual you are and what your name is. Not gonna lie, guys, it's been 50 minutes, so I think we should
No,
Yeah, I was gonna say-
before we leave, we gotta give something to the listeners. And what I want to give is some advice on like sleeping. If that's fine by you guys. Maybe you guys should know as well.
Go
on. A good advice.
Then is my life gonna change after this advice?
Nah, it's basic stuff. Is like sleep the right amount of time, go to sleep at the right time, stuff like that. But some other stuff that you might not know necessarily. Like people might think, when you do fall asleep, you should sleep with the temperature in your room to be 2 or 3 degrees lower than what it normally is, because your brain needs 2 or 3 degrees. A temperature that's 2 or 3 degrees lower to fall asleep. So make sure your room is like cool, kind of. So what's advised is to take a hot shower before you fall asleep. But that's funny because I was like, hot shower. Why would you need a hot shower to feel?
I always take warm showers before I sleep, though. Actually.
But that's because of throwback to biology, vasodilation.
Mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis.
Vasodilation when you.
Oh, so your blood vessel expands, so you lose heat quicker, actually.
So you lose heat very quickly, so you feel like the perceived temperature is more cold, right?
Yeah.
So
basically, so the precipitation in the air regulates the
Basically,
osmosis
shut up.
between.
Daniel, do you have any more advice? Or I have one piece of advice. I don't know if you're going to steal it or not. I'm scared.
It's weird, but apparently you should cover your feet and hands when you fall asleep. Like the rest of your body should be exposed, or like it should be like decent low temperature, but you should I don't know why exactly, but you should cover your feet and like so. I mean, it's weird. It's a weird advice, but sleep with your socks on, basically, which I don't recommend, but whatever.
I know you
Bro,
lose
that's
a lot
criminal behavior.
No, I know you lose a lot of like body temperature to hands and feet. I don't know if that.
Oh, that's
I
probably
got advice, but I'll say my advice after Charles. Go on, Charles.
Okay, my only advice is before you go to sleep, like an hour or two before, use a blue light filter. It's very simple. Everyone should have one. If you don't have one, it should be criminal. It's free. It's easy to download. On your laptop, you can get Flux. On your phone, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of apps that do it. But it really will help you be able to sleep sooner, like after using screens. You really shouldn't be using screens before you sleep anyway.
Yeah, that's an advice I forgot to say. And before you finish, let me finish off on Shirley's advice. That is right. Being on your screen for a long amount of time obviously exposes you to like lights and whatever. So the melatonin
blue light specifically
gets messed up like that. And it takes you like an extra hour to fall asleep if you stay on your screen for too long. But yeah, don't stay on your screen. Try to like, I don't want to say read a book, but do something else and then fall asleep. Turn off all your lights. Keep the room dark. Go on your phone.
My advice is sleep with a cover, because if the monsters come, you can protect yourself from the monsters.
Do you know when I used to be young, I used to take my blanket and wrap myself in a cocoon, even when it was summer, because I'd be scared of monsters.
See, so Rose took the advice from a young age.
Yeah. Like I used to like wrap myself up and then put my head in and then like cover myself, like a butterfly. It used to do.
Yeah, see, so Rose is living proof of.
Sounds like pussy behavior to me. Pussy.
Hey, trust. I just have a very creative imagination.
No, I'm pretty sure a lot of people can't sleep without duvet, which is fair enough. I
can't.
like a blanket.
I need it.
Bro,
I need something. Yeah, like I can be shirtless or like fully naked underneath, but I need something.
No, I hate being. I need to have clothes on
Like
before I sleep.
Some individuals go to sleep and wake up without their shit.
Oh man.
Don't know how.
Okay,
Actually, it's individual.
okay. Let's talk about that. Okay, just very briefly. So, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, I can't remember. I want to talk about this because it's it was a very life affecting event, like life turning point. Okay, now I'm being real here. So one day it was a really
Oh, you open it up, Daniel.
no,
Oh.
it was a summer and it was really hot. The night was really hot. So
Hot girl summer, yeah?
I went to sleep like normally with my shirt over my
Mm.
no pajamas but like night clothes on. I went to sleep and well it was hot. It was really hot the night. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't fall asleep. Then I do fall asleep eventually, and then I sleep for I don't know how many hours. I wake up in the morning. I do have my duvet on, so I don't feel anything different. I wake up and boom, I'm shirtless. I'm like, what the fuck? Did I sleepwalk? Did I take my shirt off? Which is more likely that's probably what happened. I did take my shirt off because it was too hot and I just forgot about it.
How's that such
But-
a mystery to you?
No, but from then, I probably slept with my shirt on for like twice or three times over the last year or 2 years. I always sleep without my shirt on. Like that after that event, I cannot sleep. I feel uncomfortable. It's so weird.
Really?
It's so weird.
Daniel, you got possessed by a shirtless jinn.
Oh.
But
No.
yeah, that's I don't know. It's a weird experience. I still need a duvet on
Oh.
or like a blanket,
Yeah.
but I cannot sleep with a shirt on. I just feel weird.
You know what? I can't sleep with any, like, I need absolute silence to sleep, but the only kind of sound I can accept, like, I can't even accept rain. The only kind of fan that I can, the only kind of sound that I can ignore is a fan, because I usually have to sleep with a fan because I get too hot while sleeping.
A lot of people have that fan fetish
Yeah.
to fall asleep.
Yeah, honestly. Also, I want to tell you about a really weird dream. I don't even know if it was a dream. It's probably like a jinn, honestly. So I think I told you guys. So one time I was sleeping. This wasn't even like when I was young. This was like high school time, maybe college. No, I'm not sure. It's probably not college. But high school time,
Yesterday.
definitely. No, it's just today. So one time, that was the fakest laugh I've ever seen you do. You know. Well, one time I woke up.
Bro. Whatever.
You
Daniel
do-
tweeted that.
You do.
Daniel tweeted, I want to learn how to fake love, innit?
Yeah, I'm improving, man. Keep going.
Daniel, I swear you say I always fake love. Like, my laughs are fake.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
They're not. Like, I was actually laughing.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait. Listen. So anyway, I was sleeping. I wake up. I look down. So, Daniel, have you been to my house, like the upstairs or no?
Not upstairs.
Okay, so neither of you seen my bedroom. So essentially, I have my bed against the wall. On the opposite wall, exactly my wall, there is like on that side of the room is the door, and like where my bed rest is facing is where the window is. So I wake up, you know, usual, and I see a black cat standing in the middle of the doorway, opposite side of the room, and I'm like, what? How did this get here? Like, I'm still kind of sleepy, like, you know, I've just woke up. I don't fully comprehend what's happening. I'm like, yo, why is this here? That's so weird. So I follow it down. I walk down and I follow it. And I'm telling you, this isn't like a dream. Like, it looked realistic. It looked like it was there. So I stand up, I walk to it. It turns down and walks downstairs while I'm walking. So I go and I see it go head into the kitchen. I follow it into the kitchen, and you know I'm going to the toilet. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm in the toilet. You know, when you wake up, go for a piss one. So I have a pee, and then I walk back out, and I'm like, yo, where's the cat though? Because I walked in the kitchen. My kitchen is connected directly to the toilet, and the toilet comes after, and it's literally straight. There's nowhere else you can go. So I walk down, and it's not there. I do a 360. I'm like, sorry, not 360, a 180 rather. Before anyone in the comments corrects me. I do a 180, I turn around, I walk back out into the kitchen. I don't see this cat anywhere. I go into my living room, I go into the room, the guest room. I can't find this cat. I look for any windows, none of my windows are open. I go back upstairs to think, oh, maybe it went back up and jumped out. I go upstairs, and facing my bed rest, my window's closed. So I don't know how this cat came in, how this cat got out. It was really weird. Because it did it, like, it definitely wasn't a dream because I was awake. And this cat was real. Like, it wasn't dreamt.
Follow-up question. What if it was a dream and you were the cat?
True, bro. That's mad.
Oh, guess what I read?
What?
It was on TikTok, I think, and apparently somebody woke up. They went to school. They were basically like nobody could hear them or speak to them. Like apparently they were in class. They were like, they got their name called out, and they were saying here, but like they didn't get registered. Anyway, they go home after a whole day of class. They go to the bedroom, and then they see their parents around the bed, and then what happens is they end up waking up, and their parents have said like, you haven't woke up. We've been trying to wake you up all day.
That's so weird.
And then they're like, what do you mean? I just went to school and I came back home. And they're like, what? And then apparently I was sleeping, but I can recall exactly what happened in that school day and what lessons we had and everything. And
Was
then
he
I kept
right
reading.
with the lessons?
Huh?
Were they right with the lessons? Like, did he actually?
Yeah, apparently, like according to them, and like I read the comments, and
Sounds
everyone's
like
like,
cat,
yeah.
But,
No, apparently what it is, it's like an out of body experience, and apparently in the comments,
Yeah, it sounds like
a lot of guys were like, yeah, I've had an out of body
bullshit.
experience too, and
Yeah, sure, dude. Keep on it.
No, but like
I'm not gonna call them liars, like.
I'm a call.
No, I've got questions. I've got questions like, did everything match up? Like things that happen in school, like anyone has to happen in school, and like.
I'm assuming, yeah. Like I don't know how like it got pursued. Like it's a TikTok comment.
So
like,
did he sleep like through the whole day, pretty much? And like, is that what happened?
So his physical body slept through the whole day.
Like it's an out of body experience.
Yeah.
Like his soul fucking got up and it travelled to school, bro. Okay, that's pretty interesting. I don't know if I believe. Maybe just because I'm like very skeptical and cynical, but I want to tell you something interesting, right? Just like one last tidbit before we end the podcast. So, have you ever had a dream where like you're falling and you wake up, like you kick?
Yeah.
I've had that once. So I was sleeping.
I always have it.
Like I was walking upstairs, I kick, and then I woke up. Do you know what's interesting? I had one of my lecturers tell me, so in your sleep you have random muscle spasms, okay? So your muscles will spasm randomly. So let's say your legs spasm or like your whole body spasms. You'll spasm first, okay? And then your brain will create a dream or a memory to try and make that spasm seem more logical for yourself. And in the split second when the spasm happens and you wake up, you feel like you did that spasm because in the dream you fell, but rather it's the inverse. The muscle spasm happened first and your brain created like a false memory or false narrative for it to make more sense to you, and that kind of blows my brain.
Knowledge.
But
So
apparently,
like in
like
that split
kicks
second,
and stuff like that, they're like associated with, like, I'm not sure about mostly guys do that, they kick a lot,
yeah,
or like guys that are like into sports and stuff like that, they kick.
yeah,
Maybe the falling thing is different, that applies to like a lot of people, but the kicking thing, like a lot of people play football or like
yeah.
who do sports, that like athletes or whatever, they kick a lot in their sleep.
Yeah, mine. I get it with football. I always have like this thing where I go to shoot the ball and then I wake up. Oh, if you guys didn't know, I used to play for West Ham Academy.
With who? With
Different
who?
story.
With who? With your boy?
Who? Declan Rice.
Yes, my guy Declan. You know him, right? Used to bully him. I remember you used to bully him or something. You told me about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I have no idea where this.
Actually, maybe we shouldn't
I
say
have no
we
idea.
shouldn't say that. That could be defamation. We shouldn't say that. Yeah.
Do you know,
Like,
talking about school,
statements.
my most realistic dream, like one of my most the ones I can remember, is that I wake up, I fully like in my pajamas, I like get my duvet, I grip it, I like wrap it around me in a cloak, and I just walk outside like that in my slippers, everything. Walk onto the bus, walk into school, spend a full day of school, like my duvet's dragging on the floor getting dirty, and I keep thinking, bro, yo, my duvet's kind of dirty, like maybe I shouldn't be doing it. And I just do it, and it was like the most realistic dream I've ever had. I thought I was actually doing that. Quite cool.
Yeah, because shows you did do that in school.
Yeah, I did keep capping.
But you did. Remember, Nifo, you were there.
You remember
Yeah, you
lying
did
is
do that.
haram before you answer. Lying is haram, by the way. Just saying.
Okay, boomer.
Just put that out there.
You radical Islamist.
You Islamists.
But yeah, good podcast, boys. I feel like we gave some good content, good information. No? Yeah? Maybe?
A good podcast on sleep, and now it's time for me to sleep, so adieu.
Yeah, this has been a pleasure from me and my boys. Goodbye.
I stopped
Oh, I
recording.
thought you were gonna say bye, but okay.
Bro, I said adieu. What the fuck do you mean say bye?